Squirrel.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Spencer. We're swapped around again.
Huh?
We're swapped around again.
Yep, I know you do it on purpose. And there we go.
Hey, I forgot to turn my phone off. I got to do that.
And we're live. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. What we got? We've got 48 and rising right now. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Did we miss anything pertinent? No, I don't think so. So,
I was late as usual.
Yeah. Guys, what's the did y'all get blasted with the bad weather this past week?
I loved it. I wish I got more.
We had 5 inches of snow.
How much? About 5?
Yeah. So
That's
in Alabama, you know, half inch things broke down and crippled.
Yeah, that's what we got the second shot of it on top of the ice.
Yeah. We didn't get that, thankfully.
What, the ice or the?
We didn't. Like, we got very, very little. Like, it just when it started to melt.
We got 9.5 inches in the Texas Panhandle. Holy cow!
What?
You can keep that.
No doubt, man. Did
Damn,
y'all see
Gary got over 8.
Did y'all see all the videos of Atlanta, Georgia? Man, that place was horrible. Ice. Man, there's cars piled up, people stranded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta. There's a bunch of videos. I sat and watched those last night. Just shook my head like,
what?
My God.
I don't know where you're at in New York, but over 5+ feet of snow in the last week. Whew.
Yeah, they keep that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope. This fat boy ain't built for shoveling snow.
With the you can't shovel the dang ice, and then like I said, you get 5 inches on top of it, and that just insulates it and keeps it for forever.
Was your driveway still?
Yeah, my driveway's not going to be doing anything, and maybe in the next couple days. It's tomorrow. No, today it's supposed to get right around 40. Tomorrow it's supposed to be almost 50. And then Tuesday right around 40. So 3 days of it. There ought to be enough runoff where at least then there'll only be patches of it instead of the whole thing being covered. Yeah. Hey, Pam, PJ. Boy, that show with PJ got a lot of views, a lot of comments. What do you say? What did Robert say?
Hang on.
Bam, bam.
Yeah, I talked to Bama. A couple times the last couple of days. He finally got Moose out and got him to the park. I think Moose was going to start crazy.
Right. 5 to 6 inches of snow, more to come. Yeah. Well,
I'm wondering if we're supposed to get some more.
Do what?
Nothing. I was going to say something to Roger, but never mind.
I hadn't talked to Roger today. He's been kind of missing in action. I don't know what Heather may be still giving him his birthday spanking.
It's his birthday week. Nobody has a birthday anymore. It's like a whole week or a month. My kids think it's a month.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, of course you'd say that.
I was afraid, Roger, if he had all individual candles on his cake, that was like violate some type of fire code or something.
Right. Fire hazard. Is Verby in here?
Yep.
Hey, Verby. Denise. Well, anyway, so no, don't be Misty. Come back out.
What?
Don't. No, you know what? You're gonna do some
I'm
talking.
sick. I gotta pick
No,
my nose. Hold on.
I'll turn your camera on right now so that everybody can see it.
You catch her mid act.
Right.
It's like a deer in the
Staring
headlight.
at it. So
It's dry.
for today. So for those of you that don't know John and Phyllis, this is the crash course introduction for them. Although I'm pretty sure I know that John's been on another show. We'll have to ask him in a minute. What?
Phyllis and John are like superstars. Like, where the crap have you been? They've been on all kinds of shows here lately.
Well, I just said I'll have to ask them. But my point is, just for everybody that watches this show, just so you know, specifically, this is one of the things that I'm not saying that we're taking credit for it, but you have to admit in the past couple years on the Bigfoot YouTube show thing, there's been a lot of new people come out, and with our meet and greets, which again, not taking credit for it, but people have shown up that have become part of like the extended family and everything. And then they started feeling more comfortable and they open up and they start meeting people and making friends and sharing their experiences and everything. And that's kind of how I view like John and Phyllis. They're, like Chad and Erica. They're like the new kids on the block relatively. And, everybody is getting to meet them. And, my point is, I do think that to a little degree, we're helping form more of a community in the Bigfoot world. And stuff like this, like getting them on, that's why they're on, is so that everybody can meet them. And we want all of y'all to be, think of it like family. Come on the show. It doesn't matter your level of experience in the Bigfoot world and all that kind of stuff, but come on and let everybody meet you and introduce yourself and just, get to know everybody. And this is one of the good sides. A lot of the stuff in the Bigfoot world is a double-edged sword. You meet some people that think they know everything about the subject and they just want it all to be about them. But there are a lot of people that are just getting together to be friends and to spend time with each other and all that kind of stuff. And this is how we met. Well, this is how I met John and Phyllis. So,
what did it say?
And go.
Hi guys, hi everybody.
Everybody.
So you want us to start off on how we got all put together, right?
Hold on. First, I got to get Misty to open up her mouth. Look, she's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What? I'm not doing the talking. We done had this discussion. Hang on.
Good question.
I'll be back. I gotta go pick my nose again. Go ahead.
Well, question. Who, what, and where?
All right. Y'all, both of y'all, before you even start on the whole Bigfoot thing, how did y'all meet?
Oh. Okay.
Well, I was widowed in 2019, May of 2019, and he lost his fiance a couple of years ago, and we joined this local Facebook singles friends thing where they just go and meet, and he sent me a friend's request because he thought I was funny. And so I decided to start getting out, try to get back to living again. And I went to this place to watch karaoke, and in he walked in his cowboy hat and his big old belt buckle. I said, "You're John Lamb." And it's been there. That's it.
The way I tell the story is I walk in the door and she runs up to me and says, "Hey, you're John."
I did not run up to him. I didn't move my seat.
I kind of see the running up to him part, though.
Yeah. No, she didn't really run up, but that's the way I tell the story.
And then,
We just,
My son is so funny because I had bought a karaoke machine and I would make my son and his wife sing karaoke with me every Saturday night. And my son would have to have a few beers before he'd want to do it, but he hated it. And he's like, so then I go to his apartment when we first started dating. He's got the exact same karaoke machine. My son goes, I can't believe you found somebody that'll sing karaoke with you all night.
I just gotta ask. I mean, please tell me John put the moves on, or was some Conway Twitty?
Hello, darling.
geez,
No,
Nice to see you.
George Strait. He can
Okay.
do.
yeah, that's
He
what it
sounds like George Strait. That's how he got
Hey.
me.
The
And the-
king.
Amarillo.
is. And the disheartening thing of it all is that we've been singing together every Friday night for the last 2 years, and we haven't gotten any better. But it's all
That's okay.
personal entertainment. We have fun. Oh man, we have fun.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So that's how we met. That's how we got together. So she came over to the apartment, and I was just learning how to use YouTube on my TV. I didn't know how that worked for forever, and I would watch Sasquatch Chronicles and
Zombies.
yeah, and Sawbeast or Sawdust, whatever TV. And she goes, "You're into Bigfoot?" And I go, "Well, I listened to it. It's really interesting. This is kind of an interesting deal." I was
I'm like, okay.
yeah, telling her. She kind of thought I was kind of weird and crazy because I listened to it, but that's well, that's how we got together.
I can quote Sasquatch Chronicles verbatim. I can
Anyway,
tell you all the stories.
so we really were, Bigfoot people. I mean, we just watched it, but then we got together, and she says, "Well, it was when I moved in over here that we started watching Woodwalkers."
guys.
Yeah, and you guys were just so awesome. It was so awesome. We could not wait to go up to a town hall and meet you guys. In fact, our first trip up to meet anybody in the Bigfoot community was Greg and Spencer, and you guys were like celebrities to us. We were in awe, sitting down at a round table having a beer and eating a sandwich. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
So that's how we first started going. And then when we went to the town hall, of course, and we met Mark and a couple of people that we hadn't met before. And now it's overwhelming the number of people that we've met and made friends with all over the country. And it's so awesome. Just really awesome.
The nicest people I've ever been a part of. I mean, I told my son, I said, if I come home and I tell you that, after I come back from Flat Rocks even when we went up to Greg's that time, I told my son, if I tell you I saw one, are you going to believe? Because he thinks John's made me nutty as he is.
I have.
And so I'm like, are you going to believe me? And he goes, no. I said, I don't lie. I would not lie about anything like that. I said, your mama don't lie. He's just made you weird like him. But he's starting to, he's coming around on it a little bit because he knows something happened. He knows I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to carry him on a road trip to Flat
Yeah.
Rocks.
We do.
I do.
Yeah.
And we still, we meet people sometimes that they ask us what we do. Well, we're kind of into Bigfoot, and they laugh you in the face. You either get two reactions: either yeah, okay, I believe it, or I've seen one, or they laugh in your face. Well, we just brush it off. I said, if you just give me 30 minutes and let me show you the evidence and all these people, that thousands of sightings, you have to have an open mind, and
Yeah.
maybe there is something to this.
And then after listening to, I said one time, I said, after starting to watch y'all's show, I said, I believe anything Greg says. I mean, come on. I don't know. You do have to have an open mind.
Phyllis,
I mean,
I figure whether your son had an encounter or not, I'll just jump out on a limb and say if he went to one of our meet and greets, that he would be blown away by the people that's there.
Just have an open mind. Just walk in with an open mind. That's all we ask.
That meet and greet was one of the greatest things
Yeah.
we've ever done. That was just off the chart awesome.
When you put 110 people in a campground, and everybody gets along and has the best time ever, you can't it's amazing. I would go home and I just said, I can't believe 110 people were hanging out here Everything was picked up. Everybody got along, had the best time ever. We can't wait for the next one, but it's got to warm up some.
Yeah. If you can keep the drama out of the stuff, then everybody has a tendency to get along. But it's you got to watch for the drama, the troublemakers. But though, the point of the meet and greet isn't. I mean, you try to do it in areas. I mean, the first one was at LBL, and there was quite a few people that said that they saw stuff, had stuff happen. Now, I didn't see anything. We did find a trackway while I was there. But I mean, there was quite a few people. But the point of the meet and greets, though, is literally just for everybody to meet. And you hope everybody gets a chance to experience something. Maybe if you're lucky, vocals go off and everybody at the group gets to hear that. But the point is just to meet everybody. And, like you were saying, I'm just happy that we've had two that were 100+ people every time and everything went smooth and everybody got along. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Now, hey, look, what blows me away is when Phyllis said she hadn't been camping or anything in 20-something years?
30 at least.
30 plus years, came to the meet and greet, had a blast, and they had to borrow. Gary set them up a tent and everything because they didn't do this, and they wanted to come to the meet and greet. They got all kinds of camping equipment, been to Flat Rocks, been doing all kinds of stuff since. I think it's awesome. I'm really, really proud of you guys for doing that.
Yeah.
I'm getting brave.
I know, and I love it.
Look, Misty,
I
just
took my
think,
Gary kit with me.
just think about this. Think about the quality of people that we had there. We got people like Gary Spikes, walked around, tried to help everybody he could. Billy Schilling. I mean, my God, Billy and Gary and so many more. Just
everybody.
Dale Boswell.
Everybody walked up and said, "Can I help you with anything? Do you need help with anything?" No matter what it was we were doing. Whether
Michael X helped us break our camp down.
Michael X was a star.
Terry Allen was helping everybody.
Yeah.
Kevin was helping everybody. Gary, of course, Gary goes above and beyond he gets himself more out with helping everybody.
I was a little disappointed that Misty didn't come help me kill that spider, though.
Hey, look, I videoed. I tried my best to help out, but I couldn't even get my phone turned on. I was laughing. So that
oh my! I walk over to see Wanda and Abby and Greg, and Wanda said, "We thought that was you over there squealing." I said, "It's John."
We heard the squealing and
packing up, and I was making breakfast or what, and I hear him going, whoo, whoo.
I forgot how much fun camping was.
The scorpion ran up his leg. I said, "Poor guy."
Yes.
I was adrenaline it out. I had nothing left. I just dumped him off like a cricket and kept going.
He was the pest magnet.
I didn't set nothing down. I swear. Everybody was trying to help when we got there because we were so aggravated. I'd been crying. I thought they had literally about wrecked, and I've seen all of it. We're sitting in hours and hours of traffic that should have been like what, Greg? We should have got there in 2 hours probably. And we got there and it was so late. Nobody was set up. I done knew there were scorpions, so I was like, do not set nothing out on the ground. You don't even leave my tent zipper unzipped because I'm weird about bugs getting in. And Billy and everybody was trying to help. They were getting stuff out and setting stuff on the ground. And I said, JR, I asked you not to get stuff out. He said, I didn't do it. He said, they didn't know they were trying to help. And I said, we got to put it up. I said, there's scorpions and big spiders. And I said, I can't have that shit. We got to do something with it.
I was just afraid we brought some home with us because when we were unpacking it and everything, it was like, let's check it real good.
Yes. You wouldn't.
But that was the first time. I was going to say, that was the first time. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
No,
the first scorpion you ever saw, I guess, was here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, not me. No, I saw him in Florida. Oh, Misty?
He's talking to Misty.
I'm running around barefoot and going out and like grabbing stuff, moving logs and everything at night to get a fire going. Greg's like, how many times do I have to tell you we got scorpions. And I'm just running around everywhere, just picking shit up off the ground. I learned my lesson to not do that, though, when we flipped that tent back and there was, like 2 or 3 laying there under that tarp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to mess with them.
No. We used to have them in South Carolina really bad, great big ones, because I was 4 and I killed one and kept it from crawling on the blanket with my little sister. I was brave back then. And but they were great big ones, big old scorpions.
Wow.
Where'd she go now?
I have to get Spencer. Listen, I'm still sick. I'm struggling talking here. I have to stop and get something to drink and blow my nose. Stop it.
Yeah, I think she needs to blow her nose. Yeah. Go ahead. So what I was going to say is,
we had a big old giant beetle on my porch that I've never seen one before. Roger played with it for 2 hours.
Man, I laughed so hard at him.
Had the pincers.
I don't know what all this damn thing.
Did you see the video he put to dancing? That was so funny. I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was huge and it was really scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was something. They like smashed it. I don't know how many times, and this thing was like still.
Roger said it pulled a knife on y'all.
This thing had dual antenna. Everything else, I don't know what it was.
It was scary.
Well, John, Phyllis, so now even though you got interested in the subject and you were watching YouTube shows and stuff like that, you've actually had some experiences. So can we talk about that? Start from the get-go. Give us all the details, please.
Okay, so one day we were watching one of the shows. Actually, I'll tell you I think it was a Carrie Arnold show. And they were interviewing somebody that they were driving along and they saw one come out of the woods and run across the road. Well, all of a sudden I had a flashback going, you know what? I think that happened to me. And the whole thing about it was I would have just suppressed that memory completely. Let me start with the beginning what happened to me. It was real early in the morning and I was driving from Biloxi to Jackson, Mississippi, which is about a 3-hour drive. And it was real early in the morning and we were headed up right around Wiggins, just between Wiggins and Hattiesburg. And it was just right at first light. So, and this was in February. So it was really cold outside, right around 30 degrees. And this thing come out of the woods, shaped like a person, full of hair, all head to toe. And it ran so fast across the road. My mind said, wow, you're just having a hallucination. And it got halfway across the road and I didn't see it anymore. So the part that made me remember is I looked over to my passenger and I said, I got to stop and get some coffee. I'm seeing things. And they were asleep, so they didn't see it. And I went on about the trip, never thought anything of it. And I'm telling you, it was like 4 years later when all of a sudden that memory flashed back and I go, wow. Because at that time, I wasn't into Bigfoot. I mean, I knew they lived in the Northwest, up and around, and you see all these shows and they're always in the mountains in California, Oregon, and of course, Alaska. And of course, we had skunk ape down in Florida. But in this area, I didn't think anything of it. Didn't even faze me. And now, boom, here we are. And the more, that was 2 years ago, and what we've come across and who people we've talked to. And I mean, I'm not going to say we're experts at any means, but we've learned a lot, because 2 years ago, I could have gone hiking and saw a tree structure. And I thought, well, some idiot's laying trees over, or, that's a freak of nature, or heard a whoop, or heard a tree knock and say, well, they're playing baseball on the field next door, But now we know what to look for and what to see. And we're starting to get out in the woods a little bit more and adventure
you had
on.
that thing in was it Oregon or Washington too?
Well, all right. So 96, we went to visit some relatives up in Washington, and they lived in a nice chalet up on the mountains near a ski resort. and it was a beautiful spruce forest. And I knew Bigfoot lived there. So one afternoon when nothing was going on, I said, I'm going to take a little hike out the back door and go walk around, see what I can see, looking for Bigfoot. I got about 100 yards off the property into the forest, and a feeling came over me like dread. Like, you don't need to be out here. You need to go home. Something scared the crap out of me. And I didn't know what it was that caused that. I just thought, okay, I'm a scaredy cat. I turned around and hauled ass back into the house. I don't remember if I said anything to anybody, and I never talked about it again. Now I know that it was a possibility that something said, you're walking in on our territory. You need to get out. Isn't that crazy?
No.
But now I know.
So I would point out, so from the get-go, you must have just been a open-minded kind of person like most of your life.
Yeah. He was MUFON, and his dad's a candle master thing.
In '67 when the Patterson film came out, honestly, I remember it was on our weekly reader. They had a picture of it on the weekly reader. This is Bigfoot. We saw him, and I believed it 100% back then. And yeah, like she says, UFOs. I grew up in a family that we just experienced everything. My dad was really into UFOs and all kinds of alien stuff, and so we always grew up believing there's something more to this universe than what we see.
Well, I mean, me personally, I think that's a good way to view everything. To be open-minded and to weigh it, to evaluate it on your own. You said your dad was into the UFO thing. Did he ever have any experiences that he talked about?
Oh yeah, and he's wrote several books on aliens and stuff. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. I don't think anything. It was on Amazon books that you could find stuff. He still has some books, but he taught Tai Chi, and he was really just an amazing person. But yeah, we grew up, talking about UFOs and things.
On that trip to your grandma's where y'all lost time.
Yeah, that's a good UFO story for you. But yeah, we were definitely into UFOs. And Dad, I guess when the silly show, the Finding Bigfoot, came out, I'd always go over, we'd sit on the couch and watch that together and laugh. But I mean, it was good that they were doing the show about Bigfoot and let people know it was there. But, they went all around the world and doing crazy things. It wasn't now these later shows come out where they're a little bit more serious about finding them. But yeah. Oh, yeah. We would always watch the Survivor Man Bigfoot together.
If they wanted to hey, y'all. If any multi-million-dollar TV contract people are watching this show, if you want to find a booger, go to Greg House's place. Contact him. They're there. I don't know what everybody is. Whoever is in charge of these TV shows about finding Bigfoots all across the country, y'all are just not taking the subject seriously, because we can show you where to go.
Watch them.
Yeah.
So incidentally, if you were brought up in that kind of environment, you were always open-minded to this kind of stuff.
Right.
Do you have any experiences? Normally I save these kind of questions for the end, but do you have any kind of experiences that lead you to think that, is there any family history or anything that happened to you that would make you think that you're a little bit sensitive, empathic, psychic? I mean, do you have any of the little... I mean, I'm not asking you to say, hey, yeah, I know I'm psychic, but...
You mean other than getting struck by lightning 2 times?
Did you?
Yeah, I think we talked about in the chat one time during the Woodwalkers about a year or two ago. Oh, yeah. I was on a boat and with a metal steering wheel and got shocked off the steering wheel a couple times. Cool. It was enough to know, hey, I shouldn't be out here. But no, yes, growing up, all that, yeah, definitely had missing time, all that good stuff. Phyllis here mentioned that I was a UFO investigator for MUFON years ago. This was 30 years ago. So a lot of times I can't really remember a whole lot of the cases involved and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. And shoot, where am I going with that? Talking about the UFO things. I'll come back to that. Ask another question. I'll try to bring it back up. Brain dead today. It's
Well,
foggy.
Misty's
Missing
supposed to be in here
Yeah,
asking
Misty's
questions.
supposed to
I'm
ask
trying
us
to read the
a
comment.
question. I know one thing is just okay. So we got together, we're hanging out, we're singing karaoke and stuff. And like I said, I wasn't really into the Bigfoot research, but I enjoyed watching the shows on TV. With the Bigfoot research and stuff, I have to definitely hand to my girl here because next thing I know, we got Bigfoot hats, T-shirts, paraphernalia stuff hanging up. We got these beautiful rugs
I
hanging back here,
introduced him to chat.
and she introduced me to the chat. Really, honest to God, yeah. And the next thing I know, she's like, "Let's go visit these people. Let's go to these town halls. Let's go have fun and meet these people." And that's where we really kind of just jumped off the wagon and got on the trail. Man, it's just been wonderful. You guys are awesome, awesome,
No.
awesome.
No, well, really, in all honesty, it ain't us. We got the easy job. All we have to do is sit here and talk to people about, stuff. It's everybody else getting on here and sharing their stuff. That's what takes a little bit. Sometimes it takes a little bit to convince people to jump on here. Hey, Squirrel, where is the tag things for the email? Because I keep forgetting to put it up.
Well, hang on. I was trying to catch up in chat. Hold on.
Yeah. Put the email
Jessica,
up though while we're talking, so if somebody sees it. What?
chat's moving on pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
What I've been saying.
Oh, I just looked up. Wow, we got 120 people on here right now.
If there's any questions in chat, because I can't see the chat, but so I can't
we'll
answer
put
those
'em up.
questions. But if Misty sees anything that ask us, especially Phyllis here, she'd love to answer.
Well, hold on. Let's let Phyllis in a little bit. So, Phyllis,
Yes.
have you had any Bigfoot experiences? Have you ever seen a UFO? Have you seen a ghost? Anything supernatural? Go over the whole thing. What's your
Gonna be a while. Go ahead, baby.
When I was 10 years old, we had a camp out, Girl Scout jamboree thing, and there was like probably 50 or more girls there. And we had probably 20, 30 tents, All of a sudden, I don't know what time it was, we didn't wear watches or anything then. And because this is like 1967, because I'm old. And 12 girls from different tents. We're all standing there, and there's a UFO over the lake. And I mean, it's close. And I mean, we just stood there. We weren't scared. Nobody said a word. We were just totally, and it was like, it looked like a flying saucer, but the bottom of it swirled like iridescent lights, like pink, blue. And nobody said anything. We just, me and David has talked about it. I don't think I was abducted. I have no clue. I don't think so. But the weird thing is that nobody said anything until it left. And then we start screaming and yelling for our troop leader. It was the strangest thing. I mean, we were just it was like we were hypnotized or just mesmerized by it.
So you were 10 years old, and so I would put it about 1967, 68.
I said
Yeah.
67.
So in the 60s, a bunch of girls in the woods seeing floating colors up in the sky. I'm not going to say LSD, but
Girl Scout cookies.
right. The special
Yeah.
edition cookies.
But that stuck with her all these years.
Yeah. And we some of them have passed away now, but we tried to discuss it, but nobody believed us, and people thought we were crazy, so we just quit talking about it.
Well,
until I met him, and then I was like, I've seen one.
Yeah.
On a serious note, though, describe it in a little bit more detail. Size. Could you hear it? Could you hear it? Did you feel any kind of ambient pressure or static?
There was no noise. There was no noise. It was just really close. I just remember it being really huge. I mean, it was
Pretty
like,
top level.
yeah, over and over the lake. And it's a pretty good sized lake. And probably half a football field, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, I think you said about 50 feet across, maybe. But I think she's saying that the bottom was like a plasma
Yeah.
because the colors would
Yeah.
swirl like a plasma.
It was weird. That was weird.
So it was circular.
It was
Yeah.
the colors were going around like this underneath, and they would, you know how you've seen iridescent lights, how they're pink and blue, and
Sure.
they change and spin. That's what it was doing.
I
And
believe
nobody
you, Phyllis.
nobody had
100%.
what?
I said, I believe her 100%.
And none of the girls that saw it, nobody complained about time loss or memory loss or anything like that.
No.
But you went to the counselors or the group leaders, and they didn't
They
believe
didn't
you.
believe it.
12 girls made up
mean-
a story. Can you believe that? I don't know.
And they thought I was, everybody always thought I was the instigator. I don't know why. But they were like, Phyllis, did you make this up? Did you start this? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought I was
So
the instigator. But that really was. And we weren't scared. It was just weird. But the minute it left, we started screaming our heads off.
Yeah.
Well, what else? Ghosts, spirits, anything else? Spooks?
I've had some sleep paralysis things happen that's kind of creepy. But I don't think I've really ever seen a ghost. I don't think. I believe in them though. But yeah, I've had that sleep paralysis stuff where you think you're awake and you're not. Like my son used to try to he watched Freddy Krueger all the time. Well, I got about 5 minutes into that, and I'm like, no, that's too much like my real life where I think I'm awake, but I'm asleep, or I'm asleep and I think I'm awake. That's really scary. And after my husband died and we first moved out here, I got in bed one night and I was really tired, and I felt an arm go over me, and I just kind of snuggled. I snuggled back. And I'm thinking, it's dawn. Then my mind goes, he's dead, and then that thing clamped down on me like hard and wouldn't let me move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't wake up. I don't know if I was asleep. That was terrifying. It was terrifying. And I've had several incidences like that in my life where you just want to wake up or whatever's going on.
I'll ask you the same thing I asked John. Is there any family history, any things that happened that would lead you to believe that, you've got some kind of extra sensitivity to this kind of stuff?
Years ago, it would, back when you didn't have tracking, I remember I used to dream things and they would kind of happen the next day, or,
premonitions. Yeah.
So I've had that before, because I could dream we never knew when our packages were coming when I was growing up or when we were younger. And, I would dream I got my package and I'd get it the next day, or I would dream things and they would actually happen. So to a certain extent, yeah.
Here's one. That's one for you. Yeah, like you'll hear the phone ringing and you automatically know who's calling you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might be somebody you haven't talked to in 6 months. And you just know it's going to be somebody you know from, that happens a lot for me.
I have a really good, I don't know how you say it. When it comes to people, I know good people. And I know good people, and I know people that aren't good. I know when they're not good. I mean, I've been fooled a few times, by people, but it doesn't happen often. I have a real good perception of people's auras or whatever you want to call it.
Don't worry. She said all you guys were great people. Okay.
No, that we made the cut.
Man, see, I knew she wasn't psychic. She'd have picked up on me in a heartbeat. Red flags everywhere.
Oh, she did. She done told me whenever she first met you at the meet and greet that, you know, you
Okay, now I'll believe her.
No.
Now I'll believe her. So, if all of that stuff happened in your past and gave you the kind of mindset and perspective that you have, then you started watching the Bigfoot stuff, the cryptic stuff coming into the Bigfoot world. So you came in with fairly open mind, and especially you, John, if you were having flashbacks of like, oh yeah, I did see something that did stuff like that. But now you've had your introduction and your feet wet on the subject for a little while now. And like we were just talking about, you went to Flat Rocks recently.
And we went to Flat Rock, 1st of December, I think it was.
But of the stuff that you've seen here in the past year, have you seen anything that you were like, hey, that's impressive? That, you know, that got me going. Seen it, heard it. Tell us about it, pretty please.
Well, first of all, Flat Rock invited us to spend the night, and I told John, I am not spending the night there, you know. And so we hadn't booked a hotel yet. I said, well, we'll just play it by ear, you know. So we pull up in Flat Rock's driveway. I can't explain it. I was calm. It was like, we can stay here. We heard a whoop almost as soon as we pulled up. Then I go, this is the craziest thing, because, you know, people look for Bigfoot. I know people that's looked for them, those shows I watched, they've looked for them their whole life. I walk in Flat Rock's house. I lay my phone down on his countertop. I go to the back door, and there's one about 40 yards back of his house. I called John over there, and I'm like,
She says, you see what I see?
is that what, you know, I'm like,
I see what you're looking at.
and I mean, it didn't move. It was just, I thought it was the grassman, because I'd seen a show about the Florida grassman, because it had like grass.
Ohio.
But it was
Ohio grassman.
It was dried kudzu is what it was. We walked out there to see what it was, just dried kudzu. But it had pulled an opening in that kudzu where it could put its face in, so all you could see is about this much of its face. You could see the eyeballs, and you could see the color of the face. It had no hair on the face, but we couldn't see any hair on him anywhere. All we could see is that little part. And he stood there motionless, staring at us.
And we didn't even, well, Flat Rock was out running around with his brother, and but we didn't even say anything. It was the weirdest. It was a weird day, weekend, and we didn't even say anything to Flat Rock. But I don't think I believed it. I mean, I just kept going back to the door and looking out there, going,
So
surely not.
let me back up and start. Okay, so that's great, because we got two people that have the same story and saw the same thing. So when we were driving up, there was a 2-hour drive to Flat Rock. It's not that far, but it's just around the corner. And we got down the road, and about 100 yards from his driveway, I stopped the car and I said, whoa, I've got a heavy feeling. And that's how I describe it. It was just a heavy feeling, you know. I don't know, was it vibration or something, but it didn't scare me or anything. I just said, I have a heavy feeling. So that's when we drove in the driveway. Dogs are barking, and Phyllis said, I heard whoops. I said, well, I can't really tell if it was a whoop or a dog.
Good.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the difference if it was a whoop or a dog. So, but yeah, we got in. I mean, we pull up, Flat Rock comes out and says, you know, y'all come on in and stuff. And he was going around. We met his brother, Bobby, and we're talking and stuff. And she went straight to the back door and looked out and says, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. And I looked out, I said, there's no way that you can walk into somebody's house that have Bigfoot around, look out the back window, and you're face to face with one 40 yards away, but you're staring one in the face and he's looking at you. and you're looking at him. I go, yeah, you guys look for Bigfoot years and have, you hear stuff in the woods and tree knocks and stuff. But here we are face to face looking at one. Well, I was so, I didn't want to take a
wasn't
picture.
Scared.
I don't know why I didn't take a picture.
I can't. It had the opposite
Yeah.
on me. I was just so calm. I wasn't scared. I wasn't worried about anything. I said, "Yeah, we'll spend the night."
Yeah,
I mean,
she said,
it was like, and I was scared to spend the night there. I had already told him,
It was about 4 in the afternoon, so it's still, we had an hour of daylight left. And Flat Rock says, "Let me walk you around the property." So we went out the front door. He walked us around. I didn't even look back to that spot in the woods. I was just paying attention to what Flat Rock was saying. Is this where my mom lives? That's my uncle Bobby over here. And he showed us the smokehouse. But he showed us another spot in the woods, right? It was probably 100 feet from where we saw this one. He said it would stand right here and stare at my mom's house. And if you're able to pull up those pictures one day, you can show them. But there is that one, it's like a close up, and you can see where it's pulled that vines across where it's sitting there looking at his mom's house. But anyway, we're walking on, he's talking, and we did hear one whoop right there in the afternoon. But anyway, we made the trip around, got back into the house and stuff. When we went back to the window again, looking, and it was still standing there motionless, just staring at us. And it was just the weirdest feeling. It was almost like, is this an alien? Is it fake? And we couldn't believe it. We saw it. We're sitting there going, we're mesmerized. So anyway, we go on and we take a little hike. Flat Rock says, "You ready go for a walk?" And that's when we decided to walk down towards the river and to the high grass. And so you want to tell that story?
Well, I got to use my Gary stick, and we recorded it.
I had the video camera on record, so I recorded this.
He says he's got to edit it because my mouth was doing this over the whole entire thing. But anyway,
John.
So he calls it yapping. So we're walking down through there, and he couldn't hear. He can't hear good. So
what?
Yeah. So we're walking down through there, and we hear some sticks break. We hear some whoops, and then Flat Rock and Boo goes.
Okay.
Boo's the best dog on earth. Boo goes and he doesn't bark, but he stopped and he looked into the woods, and all of a sudden you hear something like running toward us. Flat Rock goes, "We got to get out of here now. We got to go."
So I had the camera going. I panned the camera down on Boo because he stopped to see what he was kind of looking out, in alert of something. Yeah, of course, I didn't hear anything, and they heard the footsteps, and I did hear the branch go crack, and I stopped, and Brett looked at us. He goes, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yeah, I heard that." He says, "We just got bluff charged, and we need to go." I said, "Okay." So we turned around, and we started moving out, but we didn't have
scared. I wasn't scared.
We weren't scared at the time.
But you do when you're with somebody like that, Greg's or Flat Rock's, you respect their property, their wishes. But it didn't scare me.
And he had a sense of urgency, like we need to get back to the house. And Boo said, "Let's go too." So Boo, the wonder dog here, we headed back to the house.
We came back and listened to our audio too.
Yeah.
You do have to edit me out.
Yeah. But we went to bed that night, and the whole time I was tossing and turning. I'm going to get up in the morning, and I'm going to look out that back door, and there's going to be a leaf or something in the sunlight showing, and we didn't really see what we saw. And when I got up this morning, that first thing, I jumped out of bed, ran to the back door, and you could see the opening where his face was, but it wasn't there. And the hair on my arm stood up, and I said, "My God, we really did see one. Really did."
And I don't sleep. I have insomnia. I slept like a baby at Flat Rock's house. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're both right. If that thing, we're going to walk out there to it. If it's still there in the morning, we'll walk out there and see what it is, But we got up and that hole was empty, and my stomach was like, "Oh no."
But we drove home the next day going, "Why didn't we take a picture? Why didn't we walk out there?" Now, Flat Rock and I did walk back there. We couldn't get really far into the woods. It was only but maybe 10 yards on the side of the tree line, other side of the tree line. but it was there was a lot of there was a lot of down trees and brush that I would have had to take a little time to climb over to get back there. But we're going back Friday. We're bringing the tape measure. We're going to bring the cameras back, and we're going to find out, if there's any. Obviously, there's probably not any footprints. But I asked Flat Rock, I said, do you think this thing comes up there and watches you every afternoon or some afternoons, spying on you in the house? Or did it really just show up because we were there? Isn't that weird? So anyway, we're going to find out Friday, and we're going to have a lot more information and a follow-up for us. So
so maybe I'm a person that attracts things.
I deemed her the ambassador to Bigfoot after that event. I did. He was the Bigfoot ambassador. I honestly do think that it came up just to show us, because when we drove in, we said, we're not here to hurt you. We just want to see you. We just want to have an experience. That's all. And I feel like that's why he just came.
I didn't do that. I didn't say
did.
that. I never wanted to see one, but it was it was really weird.
So now we're experiencers. We're knowers now, not believers. We're knowers.
I think it was Gary had said some of them calm you down, but then like Flat Rock said, we could come back this time and it be a total different experience. It could be something aggressive, maybe, so.
House can speak to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%. It could go 180 degrees.
That's what he said. But he played our little audio for us. We did get some noises.
Yeah, I left a recorder out on the front porch overnight, and I haven't even had a chance to go and listen to it yet. And that was December, but I just got a audio editor, so I'm going to listen to it first chance I get. See what we got.
What would have been cool is if y'all had a thermal where y'all could have cracked the door open and took a thermal.
Right. Well, guess what? We have one now. Somebody got one for Christmas. So, next trip up, we get to go. We're going to do that.
All right. Let's.
It was more primate.
Yeah. Okay,
it was more primate.
The face I saw, it was, when you think of Bigfoot and stuff, you see this either a black or brown hairy creature. Well, we couldn't see any of the hair, but the face was a charcoal gray, ash, like silvery kind of battleship gray, shiny. It just almost like alien gray. It was really shocking. And the eyes were just black. And there was no white in the eyes at all, just big black eyes. And we got home and I said, I'm going to start going through some pictures of Bigfoot. And we found a picture that Sibylla had drawn for somebody in British Columbia. And I talked to her for a little bit. I said, this is exactly what we saw, the color and the shape of the face. But it didn't have a broad nose. It had a big
Roman.
Yeah, it was like an Indian or a Roman nose and big cheeks, silver cheeks. So all we saw was forehead, eyes, and the cheeks. And just below the nose, didn't see any teeth at all. But it sat so still for a couple hours. Yeah.
From where y'all were at, from where y'all were actually physically at to where that thing was, how many feet would it have been?
40 yards.
We estimated about 40 yards, all the way to the.
I was real proud of myself estimating.
Yeah.
They asked me at the fire pit the next night, this guy, Eric, he said, how far away did you think it was? I said, maybe about 40 yards. He said, so like to the edge of Mark's building there. And that was about right. I was so proud of myself because, women, we have problems with.
And we didn't, I don't know, we didn't try to open the back door. We just looked out the window. I mean, we just looked out the window.
It's almost like, I know I'm weird.
But do you know?
It's almost like it drew me. It's almost like it drew me there. I mean, I walk in, lay my phone down and go straight to the back door and look out there. Yeah. I mean, that was just weird.
Well, I could ask you 100 questions about, hey, you walked in and looked out and 40 yards away and you saw just a face.
Right.
I would, one of the things that I'm going to say is like what you were just talking about. You were going back and you said one of the Sibylla drawings matched what you look like. But I would tell people that the drawings are really good. I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm saying color. Color comes into play and everything. So I want to show you. I don't know if y'all can see that. Oh, I got a glare on the screen. Can you see that at all?
Yeah, we see it.
Right there.
It's very close.
Between
It's
that,
a little darker than what we saw, but it was very
so
close.
yours was more
Very
gray.
close.
More silvery.
Yeah, a lighter color.
Like chalky gray.
Almost.
But almost what? Are y'all froze up again?
No, we're waiting for you to say something.
Oh, well, you said almost something. You were describing the face.
Look above. Okay, over your right shoulder, your Woodwalker's logo there. That color there is that light of a color. That's how light it was. Yeah, but it was gray, silvery ash, and we didn't expect it to be that color.
Did it stand out? You said it was kudzu. There was a hole in the kudzu. Did it stand out from the kudzu?
It was behind.
It was behind it.
Now there was another little bush and stuff. I mean, the entire body was back there. Now I don't know, because the slope of the ground goes down to where it was at. It was no way to tell him, because you couldn't see the ground to see if it was 7 feet tall, 9 feet tall. We have no idea right now.
We will when we go back. We're going to go down there and check it out and get an idea of how tall it might have been.
But it was dried kudzu. I mean, it was leaning over this way, and it just had pulled out just enough to get this face just to go in it. And it sat perfectly still, never blinked for the 2 or 3 hours that we saw it. We'd go sit down, we'd get back up, look out the door, and it was still there. We'd go sit down, we'd, do something, talk for a little bit, go back. We just taking turns going back. It's still there,
and we never said anything to Flat Rock.
And I don't know why we never said anything to Flat Rock.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Till the next day.
Yeah.
Or that night, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Because
I don't know what
it's so hard
that.
Because it's like a sensory overload. What you're seeing, it just doesn't want to. Your body's refusing to let you accept it.
Exactly right, Greg. Exactly right.
And we both that next morning were like,
we drove home. Said I can't believe
we got up that morning before we went and looked out the back door. We're like, okay, it's probably. It was probably something, but when that hole was empty and there was nothing there.
She tried to talk herself out of it all the way home. I don't think we saw it. Did we see something? I don't think we saw something. Really, she tried to talk herself out of it.
The thing about it that I want y'all to really think about is like what y'all just said, and y'all didn't take a picture. And all these other people go, well, if you saw that, why didn't you take a picture? Why didn't you take a picture?
It's like
overload. And your brain doesn't function right because your system's overloaded.
Yeah. Well, we just got there.
Taking the pic. It never crossed my.
Yeah. It never crossed my mind either. And we brought the camera for the walking out at night, and it records and stuff. But we didn't expect to walk in the door and see something so fast. And I don't know. We didn't take a picture with the phone. We just didn't. Isn't it crazy? I don't know why.
It'd have been blurry. And I'd have had to draw a red circle around it.
Pretty much, yeah. But so we didn't even take a picture the next day of the spot where it was. And we got home, and like the next day, I called Flat Rock. I said, would you mind going out in the back window and just taking a picture of that area that we said, we were pointing at? He goes, yeah, no problem. And he sent me pictures, the next day. But I mean, the blind was all there, where it was standing. And that little opening was right there where you could see through it. Now, I did send those pictures to Spencer, but I think, we didn't prepare in time to do it. But on another show, we can pull it up and you can show it. We can go through it.
What we can do is we can get Flat Rock on. And
he said he would too.
And then Flat Rock can actually give more of the backstory, because he might fill in. You never know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to Flat Rock about it, but he might say that activity picked up right before you got there, and or stuff popped off after you left. I don't know, but it'd be a good idea to.
It would be.
Hey, Harold.
Greg, you posted about on my herbal page or whatever about the roots of it, about how much starch and all that, is. I'm wondering if Flat Rock ever finds any places where the kudzu roots have been dug up. I mean, like they're eating the roots, maybe.
I mean, they may pretty much anything on kudzu's edible. All of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I knew the leaves and things, but I didn't know that about the roots. And they're big.
was it?
They're
was it-
huge.
Tastes like taters.
huge those roots are?
Yeah,
I mean, those roots were massive. I'm talking about like
potatoes is what. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that video, and from down here where we live up to Mark and them's on I-65, I've never seen so much kudzu in my life as there is along that interstate and along the river basin there. I mean, it has covered everything. So Alabama will never starve.
Well, we're full of it too here, as far as up in the mountains where we find a lot of stuff. There is kudzu everywhere. It makes a good cover, food, whatever.
The dried leaves are some of the best fire starting tinder that you can get. You can even do the
I love potatoes.
the fire
So if
roll
it tastes
method with them.
potatoes.
No kidding.
If they taste like potatoes, I'd like that.
If they
I like
tasted like
potatoes.
taters, I've never ate
Taters.
one.
I bet.
Yeah, no, one time-
I bet Catherine likes them French fried taters.
Kathy. Well, I guess I should ask you now, after you get back, I know everybody makes a big deal out of this question, but it's true. After you got back and you saw one, or you saw the face anyway.
Yeah.
Did you have dreams about it?
I didn't.
No.
Did you feel in any way, shape, or form that you were marked?
I got sick as soon as we got back, and somebody asked me, did I think that might, because that's when I got the pneumonia right after we got back from there. And but I don't know. I don't
Well,
think it made me sick.
I don't think there's any way to prove any kind of connection or anything like that. But you have to ask the questions, and the more people that answer in the affirmative or in the negative, you're weighing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have dreams about it. You didn't really feel per se influence from the thing after you got back.
We were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
For over a week, we were overwhelmed. We were running on
everything
adrenaline. Just. But come on, it was just like going to the World Series and hitting a home run on your first at bat. To walk in the door and see one just that quick, that's why we didn't believe it. Had we been there, and visiting 2 or 3 times, and on the 3rd or 4th time, then we see it, like, okay, wow, cool. But just to walk in the door and see one the first time.
Like I said, it was like I was just drawn there.
I knew Flat Rock property was crazy.
Well, that's kind of my point, Phyllis, is that you walked in, looked out the door, and you were drawn there. A face sticking out of the kudzu. That's why I was trying to say, did it stand out from the kudzu?
Oh,
you guys were like, no, it was back. But I mean, did it stand out? Like, could you tell? Oh my gosh, there's face there.
Oh yeah. I mean, the kudzu's all brown, and then you have this shiny gray, silvery face with black eyes, staring right at you.
And then the next day, it's an empty hole.
We were overwhelmed. Like, wow. It's crazy.
Maybe it was there to see y'all, to introduce.
I think so. It was because that's what I asked Flat Rock. I said, "Do you see it all the time out back?" He said, "I've never seen it in that spot. Not in that spot. About 100 yards over, staring at his mom's house, he's seen it, but not in that spot. But he keeps looking for it."
And when I first started getting into the chat and doing stuff and then the meet and greet, he goes, you're the one that's popular. You're so popular. You took all my Bigfoot friends. Jen, we're sharing.
She is. Yeah, I told her she's the Bigfoot ambassador now. She can go out, meet people, tell her story. Yeah.
The cool thing about y'all's encounter down there, and this warms my soul for Brother Flatrock, is because there again we've got trustworthy people that drove over to his place, and I'm just gonna jump out on a limb. Y'all have no thoughts in any way, shape, form, or fashion that was a setup, rigged, or nothing, do you?
Oh no,
Well,
no.
I have to
No.
I have to tell you, I asked Flatrock the next day, did he put a mask in the woods? And he was flat out offended that we would even ask that. No, I did. I said, is there any way you could have put a mask out there? And it upset him a little bit.
It
But
probably
you have to think everything goes through your mind. I don't think it was his brother out there, because no way that his brother's going to stand out there in the cold for 2 hours and not move.
Brother's not gray.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Flat Rocks, though. Number one, Flat Rock, I believe I'm saying this correctly. I believe we were the first channel to actually have Flat Rock give an interview. But Flat Rock has been posting stuff for years, and just a lot of people didn't take him
really?
seriously because he didn't do YouTube interviews or didn't have a YouTube channel. But here's the thing. Flat Rock will send you pictures. Before we got him on, he must have sent me 100 pictures and videos. And I'm going through them, and I'm like, well, you can kind of see something here. Can't really see anything. He takes no offense about it whatsoever. One of the most humble people in the Bigfoot world you would ever want to meet.
He is.
And here's the thing, though. I didn't realize until actually really getting to know him a little bit better. I didn't realize for how many years Flat Rock has had multiple people, a ton of people, go to his property and vouch for so much stuff. Yes, it's like Greg's man cave, but I mean, vouch for so much stuff. And whenever you tell him, like I was telling him, hey man, I don't know if I would use this picture because you're going to have a hard time trying to explain it. You want stuff that you can show and people can actually see. He didn't take no offense. He didn't question it. He doesn't care. At the last meet and greet, I tried to get Flat Rock to come up and speak, and he's like, no, I don't want to. He's like, let other people go. Very humble guy, very solid guy. And then you put on top of that 30 people that will vouch for his property and everything. And he's got them there.
Yeah.
But Alabama has. All of Alabama has. They're just everywhere in Alabama.
Here's an update for you. Next spring, Bud and Angie are coming down, and Bud and I are going to do the kayak in the river over there at night. Kayak.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will not be kayaking at night.
I'll need a little liquid courage. Bud was going to do it by himself. I said, no, I'd rather you not. I'll go with you. So yeah, that's coming up this spring. We can't wait for this one to do.
I'm positive that Bud would do it by himself.
He would, absolutely.
I'm with you, Phyllis. I ain't doing it either. I've been out in the boat too many times during the day and seen shit come up underneath us. It looks like it was bigger than a boat flag, and I ain't. Not at night.
Well, I asked him what would happen because we bought us some fishing kayaks in them, and he said, "Well, there are some gators over here." I said, well, "What do I do? Hit them with your paddle."
Hit 'em with your paddle. Give 'em a headache.
Well, the funny thing for me, Phyllis, I've never had to use a Smith & Wesson to paddle the boat with.
You did have your gun with you that day, didn't you? In that bag.
Oh yeah, it was under the seat. Yeah,
we
don't carry in the woods. Yeah,
that's the thing about Flat Rock, y'all.
Yeah,
I would give Ken I'd give him the code to my gun safe. I mean, that man is the day is long. He's not making nothing up. And I mean, I've never been to his house. He's been up here, but
Yeah.
y'all, Ken is going through the same thing that I'm going through right here. I can see it on his face. I can hear it in his voice. And when he and I talk about it, I know what the man's going through, and he knows what I'm going through. 100%. That man is telling is as much of the absolute truth as he possibly can. 100%.
He
Yeah.
shared a lot of his audio files with us. We
So,
sat in the living room after we got back from
yeah.
our hike, and he shared all kinds of stuff with us.
Last night when y'all were doing that show and he mentioned that he has audio for all around his property, it is amazing what he's put together as far as setup for audio. I'll
It's
let him tell it and all, but man, it's just he's really
Mhm.
consumed with this. I mean, that's his life is to sit there and just, what's going to happen next. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I
and the
know
other thing,
that. I know what it's like, and yeah, it will absolutely consume every moment of your day when you're bombarded with it. I mean, it's not like you're getting in the car and going on an adventure, 2 or 3, 4, 10 hours away and doing it once or twice a year. It's every
yeah,
day, and that's what we were trying to stress last night on Miss Vicky's show. And
yeah,
y'all, it's a whole different animal when you're living with it. But I'm
yeah.
telling you straight, I believe everything that Flight Rock says, 100%.
me too. And
Oh, absolutely.
um, he's just he's just the most humble, nice, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Yeah, great guy.
So that area where he lives, I call it the Southern Quarter, and I know Kumbo kind of backed me up on this too. All the way from Louisiana, Bogalusa, all the way across over to like the Dufuniac Springs area in Florida. It's just a corridor. These things come through. I don't know if they stay here or what, but there's just a lot more boogers in this area than people realize. The DeSoto Forest is just packed, shack full of them, and that's down where
Well,
we kind of saw that one.
for me, my opinion on that would be I don't know if it's as much a corridor, like meaning a travel route. Now, I do think they do travel, but like the boogers that Ken's got,
They're there
that
year
that
round.
there. I mean,
Yeah,
I figure Ken's is kind of like mine.
yeah,
They may go a few miles, like following game. If they stay in one spot for a little while, it kind of pushes everything out. But they don't have to go a long way, just a mile or two, and bounce here and there. And they're just making kind of a circle or going back and forth. And I
yeah,
think that area that you're talking about, the what you're labeling a corridor, I think there's just so much terrain that's great for these things,
yeah.
and there's just
It's
a lot of 'em. I think they're just so many that
I
people are.
agree.
I think people are skeptical. Well, I mean, I know people are skeptical they even exist, but I think
Yeah,
there's a lot more of them. And what people's attributing, let's say if somebody reports some here, and in 20 or 30 miles or 50 miles, people got in their head, well, there's not but just a couple of these things, so they're moving. Well,
yeah.
no, I
No,
think wad's still here, and then this wad's here, and that wad's there. I think that if people, I mean, it'll blow people's mind when they really do figure out these things are actually there. But even the people like us that's in the know, I think everybody will be really, really astounded if we
yeah.
actually knew how many was there.
And they're in their backyard, just down the street, around the corner in the woods.
We have something in our just an old dairy farm here, and there's like a cement like trough, and you can store stuff down in there. And
Yeah.
there's something we're gonna set up the recorders out there because there is something in these azaleas at the back of our house. And there was a sighting about 5 or 6 miles down the road here not long ago. Some people saw Bigfoot
Yeah,
just right down the road.
it's a little more populated as far as people here in this area, but there is behind our house is a cooling pond, and we back up right to this cooling pond from the power plant, and it's all
Yeah.
roped off, fenced off. You can't go in there. Nobody can go in there, and I think they hang out in that area too, more than
Well, it
likely.
may be. I mean, so that what Phyllis was talking about, that would be what we call a silage pit where they would put grain to feed the cows and stuff. If
Oh
it's
yeah,
a big con, yeah. So
That's
So, like the area y'all live in, is it like really congested with houses, or is it kind of in the country, or what?
We're in the country.
It's
We're across from there. There's a house right next door here because it was a father and his daughter built next door to take care of him, and then the chief of police has built a house on the other side of him. But pretty much,
yeah, it's
there's nothing on this side of us, and there's nothing across from us because that's owned by the power company. So we're kind of in
Yeah.
the woods.
we
We got
occasionally
like 4
see
acres here.
deer and foxes and things come through on the property all the time.
Yeah. Wow.
But we have a lot of azaleas. I mean, big, thick. We have like a bird sanctuary out here. We have like we probably got a dozen or more cardinal families out here
Yeah.
now. I mean, of course, my son feeds them and the squirrels
How-
too.
Y'all are really close to the coast there. How far is it from like y'all's place to the ocean?
12 miles.
10,
12 miles to the
10 or
ocean.
12.
It's 9 miles to Interstate 10, and it's only 2 miles at the most going straight west of us to get to Pascagoula River area and that swampy
wow.
area too.
Y'all have
Yeah.
We're
massive
right on the
swamp.
Alabama line here.
And Alabama's 7 miles to the east.
Okay. Wow.
We're 2
So,
hours from Flat Rock.
so we've been scouting
You know
out some places to do some camping down here and checking out because eventually we're going to go camping again. And there's an area that's real boogery. It's over just south of Wiggins that we're going to go try out.
It's got a Bigfoot trail.
It's got a Bigfoot trail.
Because he was taking
Horse
things out.
trail.
He goes, look,
If you look it up, it
Bigfoot.
says Bigfoot Horse Trail. So
wow.
not far from where.
I mean, what I was going to tell Misty is what I'm thinking is road trip. We need to come
Yeah.
down there and do a camp out.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And lots of stuff to do down here too.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
great to have a get together down here because I've talked to some people over from Louisiana that come over and I sent them a link today too. So they're going to be watching the show. The family's only going to get bigger, you know.
awesome. Awesome. Hey, let me throw something out right quick. Anybody that's watching this show, look, we got our Facebook page, our Woodwalker Facebook page. It's been up for years. All right, look, if y'all go on that Facebook page and y'all submit a request to join, on that request, it's got like 3 questions. Please answer those questions because we're getting people that's wanting to join and nobody's answering the questions. That helps us sort out that if it's
You don't know. Yeah, we get a lot of bots that come through. And so
Yeah.
that's why there's the questions there. So
You know,
Yeah,
I've probably gotten 200 friends requests since I got in this little group here, you know. And, you know, I'll go see who we have in common, mutual. And if they're friends with y'all or, you know, some of the people that I know pretty well, I'll add them. But then I end up having to go back and weed because I don't do the drama. And if they want to bash somebody else and talk about something, I just slowly start weeding them out.
I don't think half of them are even really. I think a lot of people are just accepting the friends request. Then you see that they're friends with somebody else, so you accept it. I was doing that too, and then I started going through mine. I was like, nope. So if any of y'all have really sent me a friends request and I haven't accepted it, it's not on purpose. Message me. Let me know who you are. Don't just send me a friends request because if I don't know who you are and I go to your page and it's doesn't look like it's really a page or you've not had it long, I'm not going to accept it either because I am trying to not get hacked. So I keep my stuff private.
Yeah. Well, nowadays you don't know. I mean, I get stuff from people all the time that I'm already friends with, and I get new friends requests.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
they're cloning they're cloning it.
I had listen. There's this little girl that I've known since she was probably 2 or 3 years old, and I lived next to her grandma, and she's never borrowed money from me or anything like that. She lives down here now, and I got a personal message from her saying, "Oh, I'm in really dire straits. You know, I need a couple $100, and she wanted me to Venmo it." I said, "No, I'll tell you what. I'll go down to the bank and you just meet me down there at the bank and I'll draw it out. Well, didn't hear no more. And I got all the way dropped out of the driveway and stopped. And I had her phone number and I called her and she was like, that wasn't me. Because by them not wanting to meet me in person, you know, I got to thinking, wait a minute.
You catch on fast, don't you?
But yeah, that's what they do. They try to hit your friends up for money and stuff.
Pyro, you ain't getting away.
People are shitty, I tell you.
They but yeah, I mean, we've had a lot. I mean, like
Yeah.
Misty will go through some and I'll go through some. It just depends on if they pop up and I'm looking at my phone. But it'll be some of them's pretty legitimate folks, but you really don't know because they didn't answer the questions. And so please just you know, just I don't care. Look, we're not looking like we're going to exclude you if you don't type, you know, Bigfoot come up, ate my cat and bit its head off. No, you don't have to have a big experience. Just say, hey, I'm interested in Bigfoot and I want to learn something about it. Just whatever. But that way it helps us know that you're a legitimate person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I was really surprised because when I first, like I said, I watched Sasquatch Chronicles. I thought that was the only YouTube channel out there about Bigfoot. Boy, was I wrong.
It's gotten, it's people steadily getting into it. It's just really, I couldn't believe how big it was and how many people have podcasts and
there again,
how many.
Yeah. Well, people laugh in your face and say, oh, like Bigfoot doesn't exist. I said, just give me 30 minutes and let me show you the evidence. Just 30 minutes. And let me just explain to you, because there's so much I could rattle on over and over this. And when you have 1,000 people say, I saw this and explain it, people don't know each other from different sides of the country. There's got to be something there.
The people with PTSD, what do you call it? That's like, he says it's Martin Groves on that LBL video talking about seeing Dogman. I don't think it is Martin, but I could be wrong. But I met Martin and Aniston, but he was truly traumatized. I mean, he couldn't hardly even talk about it. I mean, people just, you can't fake that stuff.
Yeah, we believe everybody we hear pretty much. Like she said, she's got that sensor. She knows if they're not good people or not. She does know.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we missed in the chat?
Huh?
I said, me too, Phyllis. Spencer won't listen to me about it, though. He thinks I'm crazy, but I try to tell him.
A lot of people have paid the price of not listening to me. When I said, I've told my son, that especially when he started dating, these women tell him he believed anything these women tell him. And I'd be like, Jeremy, what's the odds of every woman you meet's only slept with one guy? Come on now. He believed anything. He's tough to tell him, you listen to mom. Mom knows.
That's kind of like man math, ain't it?
That's man math.
Anyway, back to boogers. Back to boogers. So, Greg, I got to tell you, Greg, that when we came up to visit you at the man cave and we drove up the driveway, I had that same heavy feeling at your property too. And Phyllis was telling you that when she got out of the car, she goes, I don't hear a cricket, I don't hear a bird, a frog, or nothing. It was just dead quiet.
I was following Spencer, and I got in behind Spencer was.
But I had that same
thermal
feeling.
or that recorder or something. So I'm right behind him, and nothing, not a peep, just dead silence.
So at least I know when they are around. I'm like boo. I can feel them.
I wish I heard them like Misty's heard them here.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that on recording.
Yeah.
Who would have thought to have turned it on getting out of the car?
Yep.
Answering Leanne's question, I don't know. I would guess the face, we would probably like a basketball size face. Eyes were probably, well, I'm going to hold up like this. They're about that far apart and they're about that big around, almost like a cow eye. But, like 40 yards away, you just really can't tell. But it was a face. But I was upset that he hid himself so well that we couldn't even see one hair or one, dangling off of his body, back or arm.
He has made him. He has made him like
a little blind.
Yeah.
It was a little blind with a little opening in it. And then, like I said, when we did the trip down and we walked and we heard the tree branch snap. I mean, who goes out in the woods at 10 o'clock at night to set up something like that? Or it wouldn't have been anybody. It wouldn't have been his brother. His brother won't go back down there.
Yeah, his brother's scared.
He walked up on one when they first moved there. And Bobby says, I won't go back out in the woods out there at night. Nope. He won't go down there in the daytime, walk down to the river. So it's just, they're kind of just surrounded in their little community. Welcome back, Spencer.
No, I've been here. I was just backstage listening to y'all.
Okay.
I laughed a couple times.
So
I can see him back there.
You had to let Misty. If you go backstage and Misty has to do some talking.
Yep. That was the point.
Clip-on earrings.
Yeah.
So, guys, we've been on here for an hour and a half. Listen, let me ask you this.
Sure.
At the end of the day, what would you tell everybody there's going to be some people that sees this video that are not subscribers or not, people that we know, people in the chat, people on Facebook that we know. If you had to say at the end of the day, if you had to summarize coming into now, I mean, you guys actually saw a face, but coming into the Bigfoot world from beginning to end, overall, what would you say like the ride has been like, and the people that you've met and the overall thing, and what do you think? I mean, have you gotten at this point, obviously, you guys are kind of hooked, but what do you think about the overall going from, I don't know anything about this to, wait a minute, I had something happen like that, makes you go back and think about it. Then you get to meet the people. Then you're actually going out on your own to places like Flat Rocks, which is a great place and everything. So your whole thing, beginning to end, summarize for all the people that are out there lurking or listening and they never say anything, or all the people that are going to watch this that aren't part of like our group where we talk to each other. From beginning to end, what do you think about the whole ride and everything you've experienced so far?
It's been one of the best things I've ever done. I mean, I'm just blown away by the kind of people, and like I said, I know people. I'm just blown away at all the good people we've met. I mean, and now we're part of something, we're part of this family thing. And I take care of my 88-year-old mother. And so I don't get to do a lot of traveling or, so my son's been trying to give me a weekend a month now. And of course, we've been using it to go to the fire pit. We use it to do Bigfoot stuff. So my weekend off is spent the weekend I get away from here spent doing Bigfoot stuff with my Bigfoot friends. But I just never me and him, we talked about that meet and greet. We had a 4.5 hour drive home, and we were just so blown away. I mean, just the caliber of people, the quality, just wonderful people, and the way they all pitched in to help each other. And it was just, I've never been involved in anything like that. And
So
it's awesome.
So in the beginning, when we first tuned into your channel, being novices and all, it was so entertaining to see you guys cut up, have a good time, tell stories. But on the other hand, there was so much information coming out because, you know, Greg had so many experiences and you guys were just like celebrities to us. It was just amazing. But all along, you know, we're telling people that are new to the channel, go back and listen to some of these other old stories that you have in these interviews that you've had with other people. There is so much information that you guys can't go wrong when you listen to this. And that's why you guys are growing so well, because yeah, you know, it's informative, but it's not monotone. You guys have fun, you cut up, there's other things going on. And it's just, like I said, one big get along together, happy family.
We were so excited that night we got
And
to
thank
meet
y'all so much for making us part of your
Oh.
family.
Stop.
that night. That night we were so excited to meet you guys when we met you up at the restaurant and everything. But then we got the meet and greet. I got out of the car. Misty was the first person I hunted down. It's like, I got to meet Misty now.
Y'all, you don't realize you say that, but like when I seen you, just like the first time I ever seen Billy or anybody,
Yes.
that's us when we see you guys, when we finally get to put the faces with the names and get to meet you all in person, we're just as excited as anybody. I mean, we love it. I mean, because you really get to be more intimate, you know, as far as sitting and talking to that person, and you can feel their energy and you get to really know that person more.
Yeah.
It's
really the point of the meet and greet is for us to meet y'all, not the other way around.
Works both ways, brother. Works both ways.
I guess, but
y'all, I mean, seriously, I'm probably more excited to meet everybody else than they are to meet me. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. We're just a bunch of old people, or we're just a good old couple that like to go out and have fun and do things. And you know, I have to say that Hollins camp out was the first time in my life I ever camped where there wasn't water involved. So anytime we do another, there better be a lake, pond, or river so I can fish, because that's what we really do. And it's kind of consumed some of our fishing time together. We've spent more time with you guys and doing booger and things than we have been on the water fishing, and that's kind of been my life. But I enjoy it, and I wouldn't change it. You know, wouldn't change it at all.
We love you guys. We really do.
We love y'all.
Guys.
Yeah.
We love everybody that has become part of our extended family. And I hope more people, I will say this at the end, shameless self-plug for the channel here, but I hope that everybody that sees this, please understand we're not trying to be like a lot of the other channels, and we are trying to have real people on, and we're trying to have people that are just down to earth and talk about their experiences, their impressions. The meet and greets are for everybody to get to meet each other and for us all to just hang out and everything. But this is not your standard Bigfoot channel. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and we're a little bit different. Sometimes we get slack for it. Most of the time, overall, it comes off pretty good. We have people that leave comments about y'all cut up and goof off too much, and we're not serious enough. But I would say this: if you talk to if you go back and look at Greg's interviews from years ago, you think he's not being serious about his experiences and what happened to him? He gets on here and cuts up. We have Kumbo on. We have Mark Green on. We have all kinds of people on all the time. Eric Kane. You think they're not being serious? We have some high quality people in the field talking about their experiences, and they're dead serious about what all they've experienced. But when you do this for real, unlike other channels, I shouldn't say that. I'm not trying to throw shade on the other channels. What I'm trying to say is we're just being real, and we cut up and we have a good time. But we got people that treat the subject very, very seriously. We just don't take ourselves very seriously.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. You're the thing about you guys is that's the attraction. You are who you are. You're yourself. When you do this show, and meeting you guys. There was, I knew exactly. You guys were just exactly like the guys we've been watching every week. It's like you're just being yourself, and that's what makes it a good show and genuine.
And that's what's growing the channel, is that you do it the way you're doing it.
Well,
If you did a show where you just
thank
held
you,
up the chalkboard and you went over graphics and this and data and stuff like that, really boring, but of course it was good information, but maybe that's not what everybody's looking for. Maybe they want everything involved in it. And that's why I think that the entertainment part,
well,
along with the information, is just the way to do it. And you're growing. So,
kind of like what you were talking about earlier with Flat Rock. If more people, if these big TV shows that are gonna throw a couple $1 million into it, which it's entertainment, they have to get viewers. They can't sit there at the same location for a month and a half. If they did, I'd be like, hey, if they ask me, just my humble opinion, you want to get some real experiences about what boogers are really like, man, there's 5, 6, 7 places. You go there for a month and a half, you're going to have stuff happen that is the real deal, that is worth sharing with the world.
I agree.
But they're in it for entertainment purposes. But Flat Rock, you can't. Flat Rock's got them. Yeah.
Spencer, let me ask you. So we know Flat Rock's area is got the activity, but there's probably, God only knows how many other people that live on a little farm up there somewhere in central Alabama that's having the same experiences, and they don't have anybody to reach out to, and all of a sudden they catch on to you guys and go, well, somebody's going to believe me, and then maybe they can have somebody come on their property and and at least they'll have some confirmation or somebody to talk to or whatever.
There are a ton of YouTube shows where if you just want to get out there and talk about your Bigfoot experience, they would love to have you on there. There's nothing wrong with that. Phyllis mentioned Sasquatch Chronicles at the beginning. And I mean, you talk about a good show, a show that really kind of paved the way for most of the Bigfoot podcasts and all that kind of stuff that's out there now. Finding Bigfoot. Overall, you can say what you want about Finding Bigfoot. I'm very proud to say I've never seen an entire episode of Finding Bigfoot. I've seen clips here and there. But
I can't do it.
Shows like that, they made the subject more open and more approachable by the average person, and they kind of introduced it. We still have people though that don't realize that the UFO subject was brought up in front of the United States Congress just a few months ago. And pretty much in front of Congress, they're like, they're unidentified flying phenomenon. We don't know what they are. And the one guy was like, yes, we have recovered wreckage and non-human biologics. Okay, the government in front of Congress just said UFOs and aliens are real. I don't know what other way you would phrase that.
Yeah.
On the Bigfoot subject though, if you just want to go on a show and get your experience out there, there are a ton of shows. I am very proud though. Pretty much everybody that we've ever had on the show, I mean, I've spoken to them personally. Most of us have, if not met them. And, we actually have a personal relationship with them. And I can't stress this enough. A lot of these shows where they just have people on there talking about their experiences, you have to understand, I've been doing this for a few years now. I've learned a little bit. Squirrel's got some kind of weird empath psychic thing going on. She picks up on a whole different level. Greg has had actual experience around them for years and has lived with them. And he relates to a lot of people that talk on the show. And overall, what we do is we like to have people on and we like to all evaluate it and talk about it in our own way and everything.
Spencer, I'm sorry, Greg. Spencer, if you think about it, when when you asked us to come on the show, this was way before we were even at Flat Rocks. I'm sorry it took so many times to get together to get on the show,
That's
but I mean,
okay.
that's how booked up you guys are. But we really talked about this being on your show and talking about woodwalkers before we even went to Flat Rocks. So, us being on there today is not really about being at Flat Rocks, but it's being about, the family that you have and stuff.
Yes.
And just happened to be, we had an encounter in the meantime. I'm Greg. Greg, go ahead.
I'm so
No,
glad
I
you
just-
did.
I mean, kind of what Spencer's saying. I mean, me and Misty and him will agree that, if you take all three of us and put us together, we make one decently well-rounded individual.
You compliment each other. That's what
It-
you do.
It's
Yeah, you've got the best team
Greg's
ever.
beard has mystical, magical powers that I don't think any of us understand. And yet, John, you're getting there. You're getting there soon. Soon,
I keep trimming
you
it
will
back.
soon you will have his level of sarcasm and wit too. And that now, hey, with great power comes great responsibility. Take it easy on Phyllis.
Yeah, I
Yes.
try. I do.
I can hold my own.
She's definitely the ambassador.
But the thing about it, guys, is really, I mean, what we do here, and that's why I'm so proud to be a part of it, is because there's nobody that comes on here with us that's trying to be anything that we're not.
Right.
We're trying to be us, and thank goodness, and we're blessed that the Lord made us pretty decent folks. But yeah, we don't try to embellish stuff. We don't try to be somebody we're not, and that's what I mean. We try to tell people, what y'all see here, believe it or not, our crazy goofiness, and the knowledge that we do bring to the table, that's real. I mean, we're real, and I've had a lot of encounters, but I'm not trying to take anything to steal the spotlight from the other two right here. They got a lot of experience too in the realm of Bigfoot. Yeah, Misty and Spencer both witnessed a damn lot. So yeah, and they know the woods. Those two are really good in the woods. Yeah, they're not. Let's put it like this: like some of these folks that's never been outside and they've got a podcast and all they do is talk. They know how to talk to people. Well, that's a whole different realm of when you got people that can talk to folks, but they actually know what it's like to go out there and walk through the woods and to go do stuff, and they've experienced stuff with their own.
It's
So
the opposite of us. It's the opposite of us. We don't know how to talk to people or run a professional YouTube channel, but
Yeah.
we actually have the boots on the ground experience.
Yeah. Whatever you're doing, work.
It's working.
Yeah. We hope so.
That's the thing. That's when we started doing this, though, we said we wasn't, I mean, even just me and Spencer, we wasn't gonna be nothing that we really ain't, that we can't, if we can't be ourselves with you guys, why do it? I mean, even though we are serious, a lot of people may not, take us serious because we do cut up and go on so much. But if we need to sit down and have a serious conversation, about guarantee it, any of us could sit and do it and talk to you about whatever you wanted to talk about. But the thing is, if I can't cut up and laugh because Greg says something funny, or I catch Spencer over here doing something stupid and I'm going to laugh at him, I don't care what it is.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way we are. And I don't like to meet people that try to make me think they're one way. And then when you really meet them in person and you realize that they're
Once you get
nothing
to
like
know
you thought they were, you're so disappointed, So we are ourselves 100%. We are silly, crazy, whatever, and not for everybody, I'm sure, but we are what we are. So
Whatever it is, it's working. The family's growing. Family is growing.
The thing that makes us really enjoy this, other than meeting everybody, is y'all. For me, and I know it's for them. These other two also, is that if we can't do anything else, I hope that we gave somebody a couple hours every week where they can laugh and smile and feel like a part of something. If nothing else, I mean, there may be people out there that ain't had nothing to laugh about all week. So if if nothing else, I just hope y'all have fun listening to us.
Well,
Yeah.
You're
I hope that,
entertaining.
I hope that eventually some of these people will feel comfortable enough. Thanks, Mike. I hope that some of these people will feel comfortable enough eventually to start coming on the show. And I hope that everybody that sees this, next time we have a meet and greet or anything like that, please come out and just, not for us, but come out and hang out with everybody and just see out of 120 people, what did we have at LBL? 124, 126?
There was close to
Yes.
200.
Wow.
Well,
200 by the time
officially on the books, on the sign-in thing, was 120 something. But it was more than that, though, because a lot of people didn't sign in. But my point is this. Come out and see what it's like to talk to a lot of people that have actually done this for real. Hear their experiences firsthand. Look them in the eyes. Get a feel for them, the kind of person that they are. Listen to them firsthand. You will go away knowing that you met genuine people. And I promise you, 99% of them, you're going to be like, there ain't no way that person was feeding me a line. I mean, they were the real deal. And I'm very proud of, even if we only have whatever, we're approaching 3,000 on this channel.
Wow.
I'm very proud that every one of those 3,000, we earned that. We didn't get it just because we have people on every week talking about, oh, I saw a Bigfoot and I had a Class A encounter and everything. Because I promise you, in real life, the Bigfoot world is way more people have not had a Class A encounter. Way more people have had just stuff happen and found tracks and stuff like that. But anyway, come to a meet and greet, jump in the chat, get on the Facebook page. Like Greg was saying, you have to answer the questions. I'm the one that lets people on the Facebook page most of the time. It's Misty and I, but most of the time it's me, and I'm an asshole. If you don't answer the questions, I delete it because I'm like, yep, that's a troll or a bot. You have to answer the question. But get to know all of us and everybody else. Not even us, but get to know everybody and see what we're talking about. And I promise you, if you do, you walk away going, number one, yeah, Bigfoot is real. But number two, all of these people are real. I'm very proud of that fact.
Yes, there was, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes later, people sitting at the fire. It's so freaking cold. You're about to burn your feet off trying to stay warm. And at LBL and at Talladega, we had people sitting there all night, just gathered around, just sitting and talking.
Yeah, I was getting ready to tell that story, Misty, that, when you sit around the campfire and you got several people and everybody's going to tell a story, or some people don't tell any story and they just sit back and listen. But it's so much fun that, I sat there till 4 o'clock in the morning until Misty came over and tapped me on the shoulder. You might want to go to the tent. I think I was snoring so loud I probably was, woke up Bigfoot.
You and Michael X.
They said Ashby was snoring and he was in his car. But yeah, we're just sitting around because somebody's going to come up and tell a story. And you're sitting around people that they're just really nice people, but you didn't have any idea they had an encounter.
He said that was an unreal experience to open his eyes and there's Misty.
You're in my dream. What are you doing here?
All the time.
But yeah. That was surreal.
Literally,
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to the tent, and I know Phyllis went to the tent, and she went to bed. But I stayed up. I was going to stay up because there was just so many stories, so much fun, being around the campfire.
And it's not all about Bigfoot, y'all. You can bring your families, even if they're not into stuff like that.
Yeah, we told fishing stories. Yeah,
he loves it just because of getting to sit around and all the people that he's got to meet. Didn't care anything about Bigfoot, didn't know anything about it, whatever, but he enjoys going because he enjoys getting to meet everybody and sit and talk to them. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice.
No, that's
tonight, Greg.
No, he just wants to be surrounded by witnesses in case you do anything to
him. Let me throw in another awesome thing about the meet and greets. guys, this isn't just like we're saying it, you got to be 21 and up. I mean, my 12-year-old
We've
daughter,
had kids.
big time. Look at Crystal's son, Solomon. He was, I mean, my daughter and Solomon, and then the other, what was it, Rosie? The other little
Rosie.
girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they're treated like they're around a bunch of godparents. I mean, everybody in
Yeah.
camp's looking out for kids. And we're talking about
Yes.
100
Yes.
people. I mean, they were treated like they were royalty. The kids running around, and it's for somebody of all ages. I mean, and it's
True.
just great people having a great time.
And the food is really good, and the overall entertainment. We had Dale and Billy
Yeah.
up there playing guitar and singing before we did the raffle and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You could say what you want. I'm proud of the meet and greets. I mean,
Yeah. I actually left the fire pit or the campfire and went over to Billy's tent and Dale and listened to those guys play guitar and sing,
yeah.
for a while.
Oh, hey, let's
Great.
not forget Paul, PJ's husband, Paul. My gosh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, like Pam and Paul, who we just had on the show
Yep.
last week. They're coming to the meet and greet from way over
Okay.
there, and they're bringing
Arkansas.
like personal paintings and stuff to donate and everything. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is these are very genuine, great people. You should absolutely open your mind and get to know. Even if you don't believe a damn thing that we say, you should open your mind and get to know a lot of the people that we know. You're going to make some friends, and it'll change the way you think about the subject and the way that you view. Do you know 10 years ago in the Bigfoot world, you would hear about all of these groups, and they were like exclusive groups. This group, that group. There'd be like 15 people in this group, 20 people in that group. And they would go out and do stuff, and they'd come back and show you evidence and talk about the outings that they went on and all that kind of stuff. This right here is the modern version, but it's an open group. I want everybody to participate. We all want all of y'all. Talk to us, join us, meet us, come talk to us, get in the group, meet the other people, meet everybody. If you go down this list of chat right here, talk to all of those people, meet those people. We've met them.
Yeah.
Just broaden your life and at least like consider, hey, if there's ever like a Bigfoot family kind of thing, I promise you it's us, or at least we're trying like hell to be. And just jump in here and be part of this, because I want to listen to every single person that's had the least little bit of things happen. If you need somebody to talk to, let us know. Right there is the email. Thank you, Squirrel, because I forget to put it up all the time. The email is right there. If you want to talk to somebody, let us know.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to Friday at Flat Rocks, and Saturday's that town hall, and Flat Rock's the speaker, Dale Boswell's the MC.
Dale's
Stacey
gonna be there.
Brown, Jessica Jones is going to be there,
Yeah.
and Bobby Dizzle.
But yeah, and 90% of the people that we met in the chat, talked to them in chat, and then got to see them in person and, meet them face to face at the meet and greets and these things.
At the meet and greet, everybody knew me. Everybody come up to me and go,
Imagine that.
I love the stuff you post on Facebook. He's driving and I'm playing on Facebook.
Hey, brother.
Wherever we go, it's a 2-hour drive or whatever, because into town or stuff. And so she gets to play on the phone and I drive. So
it's a 10-hour drive for me no matter where I go.
I know. That's how it is here. And she likes to play on her phone and talk to people, and I drive.
I'm a social
Everybody goes to
butterfly.
Greg's. He doesn't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for doing the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for
Hope
having
everybody
us.
got something out of it. Hey, if y'all are not friends with
Yeah, reach
John
out
and
to us.
Phyllis. Yeah.
Reach out to us.
Let them know. If y'all are not friends with Flat Rock, go check out. Flat Rock has a separate Facebook page.
Flat Rock Boogers.
Boogers.
Hey,
Yeah.
Misty.
What?
Misty, did you say the comment that Sandra had posted? It's talking about, said Jeffrey said nobody treated him different because of his autism. That was huge for him. Lord, Misty was giving him cooking classes.
He was helping me cook. I didn't have to teach him anything. He was a good helper.
And speaking of the next meet and greet, if we get to go, I'm sure Phyllis will cook y'all breakfast next time too. Just make a list of people coming.
Okay.
It was like a mess hall. We had it all set up like a mess hall. She was shoveling out plates to everybody on Sunday morning there.
Yeah.
Good.
I know. And at night, Greg's cooking. Oh my God, it's the best in the world. He puts that big giant pot up there, and it's fabulous.
It was yummy.
I got to walk over
That
and watch
giant
him put it
pot.
together. So I mean,
We
there's
gotta
just more
name
than
that
just sitting around a
giant pot.
campfire, you know.
Hey, Misty, I got to show everybody something. If y'all can see this, look, go raid your Dollar Generals because they're getting rid of
Hey,
their
Lene.
Christmas stuff. Check this out. It's a solar powered bobblehead. Look at how cool is that? Its head wiggles when it put it in a light, but it's long. I was like, oh my God, it's the Christmas Yeti.
Sure
It was,
is.
look, it was 70% off.
You got you a deal.
House. Before we get off real quick, turn the phone around and show people that giant booger cutout that you got the signatures on. How many signatures you got on there now? And tell them what the deal is with that thing.
Spencer, there's probably, I don't know, there's probably 30 or so on it. But what it is my buddy Alan that a lot of y'all's met on the show, and he's seen the Bigfoot in my yard, and he's been dealing with this with me for 25 years. He works at a sign company, and he cut out a 4-foot tall, solid aluminum. It's like 1/4-inch thick aluminum Bigfoot cutout, and we hung it on my wall. Well, all my Bigfooting buddies, that's researchers, whatever, people that's come here, John Phyllis has signed it, Spencer
on there.
Misty, everybody signed it. And what they do is when they come here to hang out with me at my man cave, I'll get everybody to sign it. And hang on, let me get turned around here. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I got to get where I can see it. Hold on. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
There it is.
And so I get all everybody. I mean, it's got Coonbo, Troy Allen, Spencer Misty, Mark Noble. I mean, I've had Bama Murdoch signed it here a few weeks ago. Billy Schilling, Blue Eyed Northern, Joe, all of them signed it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's like a Hall of Fame right there, man. We're honored to be on that little Hall of Fame. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the highlight of my weekend.
Yeah. We had so much. That was great.
Yeah.
That's only if you go to Greg's man cave.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah,
there
that was
physically.
an honor to be invited there.
Do y'all have something planned coming up for another camp? She said she gets a day a month. You've got something planned for the next trip that you are going to go take?
Well, this weekend, we're going to the town hall.
About not getting a deer.
Sorry,
carry on.
We're trying to do the fire pits up at Mark's. Yeah, and we really like that lake place up by Greg too. We like
Lakeshore Inn.
Yeah, we like staying there, and it's kind of cool. We just make a whole trip weekend out of it. But I don't know if they'll have a fire pit next month because it's so cold. But we've been trying to make the fire pits, and
I know I'd like to be up there one weekend or whatever when they're doing it and go and hang out for it or whatever with a bunch of different people.
We have fun.
Well, we're going to go check out this place called Airy Lake, and it's 2 hours from where we live. It's just near Wiggins, Mississippi, but it's right smack in the middle of Booger country, and it's a campground. It's gonna be primitive camping, and it's got a beautiful lake that's stocked, and I think from what I hear, it's got a lot of activity around it. We're gonna go check it out, and hopefully we can get everybody together and get a group to come down there. Be awesome. We'll host it. We'll host it.
We won't do as good a job as you guys,
no.
I'm sure, but we'll
But we got
try.
the PA system for Spencer.
Yeah.
We drive
Yeah,
we drive into the Hollins camp, and we run into Spencer. The first thing we asked for, did you bring a PA system or like karaoke machine? I'm like, no, we didn't.
yes.
And he bought me another thing
Yeah,
for
I
Christmas.
felt like we'd
so-
let him down. Though I was hurt the whole time
No.
we let Spencer down. But no, Dale picked up.
No.
Dale picked it
No,
up. He
I
got-
was running around
How
last
far to
minute because
fall.
I didn't realize how much those things cost. And I was like, holy cow, it was we already spent like all the money, just so everybody knows, all the money that we get from like somebody watching the show and everything, we just buy stuff and throw it out for the raffle and like the giveaways and everything like that. We ain't making a cent off this show. We don't care about that. We're not trying to do that. But anyway, no, yeah, PA system, we need to get one, but that's a big chunk right there.
Well, we got it covered
Y'all,
now.
for everybody that watched the show today, thank you very much. We would appreciate it if you did subscribe. If you've had any kind of experience, please let us know. There's the email. One of us will reach out and talk to you in person and go over all of that kind of stuff. John, Phyllis, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting
We
us
love
join
you
you.
guys so much.
I
Love y'all too. Take care, everybody.
This is just like talking to family for all of us.
Wait, hang on. Before we go, are we doing a Night Owl show tonight? Because Catherine needs to know so she doesn't take her melatonin.
Yeah, you ought to.
Look, I'm standing on ready and rocking on go. That's on you.
That's our brother. That's our brother.
Oh, everybody watch out. There'll be a Night Owl show tonight. I have a
Cool.
feeling.
Okay. Hey, tell Catherine we won't use her face, but we can use her audio. She can come on there with us.
Yeah.
Of
Why,
course.
Kathy's pretty. You should definitely have the camera on her.
I know, but like I said, she's wanting to stay incognito, I guess. But
Okay.
she needs to come with us.
We'll get her a picture up and just post her as Shit Show Shirley.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right, guys.
Love y'all. Thank you for everything. John
Okay.
Phyllis, thank you. Y'all check
Thank you.
out Flat Rock. What's Pam and Paul's thing called? Giants of the Woods on YouTube.
Forest Giants. I don't know.
I think
Look
it's called
them up.
Giants of the Woods.
Giants of the Woods.
Just type in PJ Arkansas and it'll
Yeah.
come up. I think it's
Yeah.
Giants of the Woods. Check out Chris
Oh.
Reinhardt.
Y'all
Check
really
out
check it
Sawdust
out.
Beat.
Miss V, Muddy Creek.
Miss V. Yep.
Uh-huh. And our boy, the caffeinated cryptid, Bobby Dizzle.
He's trying to get his going too. He's going to be at the town hall.
He's doing pretty good. Check out Caffeinated Cryptid.
Yeah.
Always watch Mark and Rebecca Green, Cedar
Oh,
Creek
yeah.
Farm-
Yeah.
Farm
See,
Stand.
yeah.
every Friday.
And
Always
Oline
watch
Cryptids.
PA.
Oh,
Oline.
no. See, there's just so many. You guys have just spilled off to so many people now. That's just great.
No,
I
they
know,
were there
but it's just-
before us.
I know they're on the side and all. Yeah, the only thing that came off of you guys is the Night Owls, but
Thank you, Garrett.
it's just we have so many people, friends, and
And
family.
Old Cryptids have got beards and boogers now. So
That's right. Old Line Cryptids. But it's
You know what? Look here. I got to say something about this right quick because, I got
Okay.
to take a little credit.
Here we go.
trying to close the show, and here she goes. This will be 5
Now
minutes.
she's ready to
I can tell by
talk.
the way she's going.
She's
No.
spreading her wings
I
and fly.
I wanted to do it after hours. Just, I said, well, why don't we just get on, just, kind of goof off a little bit and just whatever. And Spencer's like, oh, no. Nobody, why would anybody watch that? I don't know.
People will watch it. Hey, y'all, just so everybody knows, we were up over 150 live today.
Wow.
I just
Wow.
couldn't keep
That's
up.
awesome, guys. That is awesome.
Hey,
Good job.
Misty, you realize there's one person in chat that really needs to come on with us for too long, and that's old brother Pyro.
Yeah.
It's time to crack that shell, brother, and come on out.
Yes,
Yep.
for
Oh,
sure.
wait.
Spencer needs to be getting him.
Hold on. Our very own Booger security guard,
Yep.
Wendell
Yeah.
Mosley, will be on Miss
Yes.
V's
All right.
Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
Talking about panning for gold. It's going to be an
Yeah.
informative show.
It will.
Hey,
Yep.
no, Wendell's done got gimped up. How you gonna pan for gold with your shoulder messed up?
All I'm saying is, y'all go support Wendell. Go watch
Yeah.
Miss V's show when Wendell. Well, she pre-records, doesn't she? She doesn't do a lot.
Yes and no.
Yes
But
and
she does
no.
both.
Just,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if Wendell, are you going to be live? But either way, check out the show with Wendell on there, and you know, and like and subscribe. What did she change the name to?
Muddy Creek. Muddy Creek.
Muddy Creek Podcast.
Podcast.
Muddy Creek
Yeah.
Podcast. Y'all go look at that and give
she
it a
has
bunch
a
of
good
love, and
show.
definitely check out Wendell and everything. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank y'all.
Y'all have a good day.
Love
Hey,
y'all.
look for Night Owls tonight. Love y'all. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Love yous.
Bye.
Squirrel.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Spencer. We're swapped
Hello,
around.
Huh?
We're swapped around again. Hold on.
Yeah, I know you do it on purpose.